How comfortable are you with the president apparently seeking $230 million from the Department of Justice?
I don't know the details about that.
That seems outrageous. The president is asking his own Justice Department to give the president money?
Unless it's something that's done in the normal course of business, and I don't believe that it is, if at the very least, it's horrible timing, given that we're in a shutdown.
I didn't talk with him about that. I know that he believes he's owed that reimbursement.
It seems a bit odd to me.
Asking his Justice Department to find a settlement that will enrich the president.
I've got a lot of optics concerns, and I just don't know if there's precedent for it.
There is no precedent for it. You could probably tell who the Republicans were in that medley, but they didn't have any there defending this outright. No president has tried anything this brazen. Trying to seize over $200 billion in taxpayer money is obviously unethical. It is an ethics violation to abuse government power to enrich yourself, full stop. It's also very likely unlawful. No president has tried, so we don't exactly have some clear court precedent on how much money you could just try to seize or take out of taxpayer grifting, but certainly not $230 million. And history is instructive. No one has come close to what Trump is trying. Richard Nixon famously faced blowback when he was the nominee for vice president, and it was over about $18,000 in alleged gifts. He gave a national address over the scandal, and he famously tried to say that the problem alleged that he was taking, $10,000+ wasn't true, the very opposite of Trump today, and that the main gift he took was his dog named Checkers.
I'm sure that you have read the charge and you've heard it, that I, Senator Nixon, took $18,000 from a group of my supporters. The question is, was it morally wrong? Not 1 cent of the $18,000 or any other money of that type ever went to me for my personal use.
You see the denial. He was saying, hey, he didn't take any of the money, the $18,000. Trump is pursuing the opposite, trying to take it for himself, and it's $230 million. If you go back to the 1960s, there was a Supreme Court justice who was caught taking about a $20,000 retainer. And it was such a big scandal that you would have that much government power but still be trying to take outside money. He ultimately resigned over the obvious ethics violation. If you check the numbers, Trump isn't seeking 100 times that amount or 500, but actually over 1,000 times that amount in these taxpayer funds. He's going to see if he can get away with taking your money. In 1981, a judge ultimately ordered Vice President Agnew to repay over $200,000 that he took in alleged bribes, which were determined to ultimately have belonged, that money, to the people of Maryland. Much like the federal money belongs to the people of the United States, not to politicians who are temporarily in power. Now, you might have cynics who say, well, that was then. I guess things have changed. Things are different now. And Trump and his family make money off business while their father's in government. They make money off crypto and the hotels, so maybe they can start just taking it from the taxpayers, too. Maybe they want people to get that cynical, but it's also off base, even if some people want us to give up or go downhill, because I want to show you, in Donald Trump's first term, he ousted 2 cabinet officials over these types of money and ethics scandals. He, Donald Trump, whether it was the bad press or the optics or the ethics, but he ultimately said no to these officials who were caught with allegations about misusing about hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of that, by the way, in fairness, was paid back, and we're not talking about $200 million. So few may remember the exact people involved, Price and Pruitt. Their grift scandals were too much even for this same president, at least when it came to him getting in trouble or bad press for this type of enrichment. The recent talk that Trump may take these millions from taxpayers, but what if he didn't take them personally? What if he put it to a charity? That's one of the defenses now floating, which again is a sign that things still matter and maybe they don't want to go forward with the original enrichment plan, but that wouldn't address the ethics here at all. Because if he takes the taxpayer money, it's not his money, whether he uses it for a charity or something else. And I would remind you, in the past, he has taken these type of formats and used the money to enrich himself. So what he called a charity ultimately led to the shuttering of the Trump Foundation because of credible allegations about misuse, what the Times reported on as a pattern of illegality. Congressional Democrats say their probe on this tonight is serious. If they win in the midterms, well, then this could be something that they probe with the full subpoena power of a majority in the House. And so amidst this shutdown, we should note that Donald Trump is demolishing a very treasured, visible sign of American democracy, a big piece here of the White House. In fact, what I'm showing you to make the point here are live pictures. So this is literally what they're doing in the evening in the People's House. Tearing down the East Wing for plans to spend $250 million on a ballroom that this politician, this president has chosen. No sign that they are doing any of the austerity they're asking public employees and others to do during the shutdown that they have ordered. The facade is a pile of rubble. The entire wing is set to be demolished within days. Trump had claimed that the historic structure would not have met this fate. He literally said that what you see on your screen wasn't going to happen.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it.
False. It is, as you see, affecting the existing building. Trump brandished plans moments ago in the Oval Office for this ballroom. He's also said, and keep in mind, during the shutdown, he's trying to take money for himself from the DOJ. He's got his plans here. But he says somehow there'll be no cost. The project's funding, he says, will be completely absorbed by private companies and donors. One problem, though, about how you calculate costs, those are individuals who might be doing this.
This is insane, like something out of a political thriller gone wrong. The report claims that Donald Trump is trying to pull $230 million, not from donors, not from his businesses, but from your tax dollars through the Department of Justice. Let that sink in. A former president allegedly asking his own government for hundreds of millions of public money, essentially testing if he can get away with it. No president in U.S. history, not Nixon, not Reagan, not anyone, has even tried something remotely close to this. It's not just unethical. It's an outright dare to the Constitution itself. And while this madness unfolds, cameras catch another shocking scene. Bulldozers tearing down part of the White House. The East Wing, a national treasure, the People's House, being demolished to make way for a Trump-style ballroom worth $250 million. During a government shutdown, no less. While federal employees go unpaid, the man responsible for the shutdown is literally ripping apart the White House to build a monument to himself. He even talks about a Trump statue on the grounds. It's the kind of imagery that dictators and failing democracies are obsessed with, not elected leaders in America. This isn't politics anymore. It's a power trip. Trump is testing the limits of ethics, law, and public patience. The sheer audacity is breathtaking, demanding public money while destroying a public landmark, all wrapped in self-worship. Whether you love or hate him, you have to admit, this isn't normal behavior. It's the kind of story that makes you ask a brutal question. How much can one man twist democracy before it breaks?